Hello, world. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are in the world. My name is Jojo Angel, Accra, Ghana, Africa. Welcome to my software development training program. In today's lesson, we are looking at Introduction to Web Development. This is the very beginning lesson into the world of web development. Hope you are ready for today's lesson. Alright, then let's proceed. What you should expect today. In today's lesson, I'll give a brief definition of what a software is. Then we will look at what a website or a web app is. We will then look at what we call programming languages. And then I will talk about an IDE. We will conclude our lesson by going through the procedure or the processes involved in installing Microsoft Visual Studio Code, an IDE that we'll be using for our work. And then the rest of the time, approximately 30 minutes, will be left for questions, suggestions, and recommendations, and what have you. Okay, so if you are ready, take your notebook, your pen or pencil, and then let's get the work done. What is a software? A software is a collection of instructions and data that tell the computer system what to do. I mean, series of commands that tells the computer system what to do, how to do, when to do, and then what have you. So it is just an internal affair that instructs the computer to do its work. You know, because they are series of instructions, they are created by humans and installed on the computer device. As such, we can say we are programming the computer to do according to what we want. You know, when you go for an event, the list of items to follow is what we call a program. So, giving the computer a set of instructions to follow, we can say we are giving the computer program, or we are programming the computer to follow certain rules and procedures. Hence, the act of writing a software can be referred to as programming. And the profession of creating computer software is also known as software programming. Obviously, the person creating the software can also be known as a programmer or a computer programmer. However, this person has other names. The set of instructions can be referred to as codes. So therefore, the person can be known as a coder. Now, creating the set of instructions can be also referred to as developing the instruction. So therefore, the person can be referred to as a software developer. Now, because this act involves some sort of science, engineering, logic, mathematics, thinking, and bringing something into existence, we also refer to them as engineers or software engineers. So that is briefly on what is a software. It's just a collection of instructions that tells the computer system what to do, how to do, and when to do. And it's created by professionals called software developers. As simple as that. Now, with that understanding of what a computer software is, We can also reason that software comes in various types and kinds. There is a software that the computer system uses to manage its own resources. I'm talking about a kind of software that tells the computer that you have this amount of memory, speed, what have you. We will call that kind of software operating system. Okay? All right. Now, that kind or type of software is internally used by the computer system itself. Then on top of the operating system, we have other kind of softwares that humans use to perform a daily activity. And that is what we call an application software, meaning that humans apply that kind of software in their daily life. There are other kinds of software that exist between the operating system and the application software. These kind of softwares are commonly referred to as utilities or services. That is, they help the operating system to function well, and also they help application softwares to also function very well. Now, bear in mind that we have different types of computer devices. That is to say, we have mobile or smart devices, we have the desktop or PC or the laptop. We also have the internet and the cloud services. So, to conclude, we can say that there are different types of application softwares for each of these platforms. So on the PC or the personal computer, for example, the laptop, then we can say we have desktop application. This is simply because the application is used on the desktop of the computer. And then on smart devices or smaller computers that we can easily move about with, we say we have mobile application. This is to imply that we move about with that kind of device. And then when it comes to the cloud and the internet, where you do not even see the computer hosting the software, we call these kind of applications web application. This is to say the application runs on the web via the internet. There are other classifications and groupings of software, but the web application or website we normally call is the point of our interest today. In conclusion, we can say a website or a web app is a computer software installed on a computer server and accessed via the web browser. That is to say, a user can access a website or a web app from a computer device that has internet access. This is because the web app or the website is installed on a computer somewhere far away from the user. This computer is what we refer to as server computer or simply server. And then the computer or the device from which the user can access the web app is what we refer to as client or client computer. The medium or the means of accessing this kind of application is always through the internet. Okay, so with that understanding of what a website or a web app is, let's proceed to the next lesson. I know you may be wondering if a website or a web app means the same thing. Well, whereas they all have the word web, it means they reside on the web. But as to the difference the sites and the app brings, later during our lesson, we will explore. Okay, so with that understanding of what a computer software is and what a web application is, let's look at how these kind of softwares are created. Remember we mentioned of programming languages when we were talking about computer software. A software developer creates a computer software using special language that the computer can translate and understand. These languages are called programming languages. This is to mean to say the computer has a language that it understands. Humans also have languages that they do understand. Now, there exists in between the computer language and the human language another set of languages that humans can easily create, for the computers can also take and translate it into their own language and understand. This is what we refer to as programming languages. They are not computer languages per se, they are not human languages per se, but they provide a bridge between human languages and computer languages. Now, there are a number of programming languages in the system. However, the commonly used ones for almost multi-purpose programming include Python, Java, C Sharp, JavaScript, PHP, Kotlin, C, C++, Ruby, Perl, and Visual Basic. There are thousands over thousands of programming languages available, but these are the commonly used ones. I mean, for general purpose programming. Mind you, the C with a number sign is pronounced C sharp. Okay, that's it for now on programming languages. It is our tool we will be using, so we will learn more about them as we move on. Okay, so now let's talk a bit about the IDE I've been talking about. You know, all this while I'm saying that software is a series of instructions that developers put into the computer so that a computer can do some work. Now, this set of instructions must be written by a software developer. The environment for writing this instruction or this series of instructions is what we call a development environment. That is an environment where software is developed. So, when we talk about integrated development environment, then we are saying that that particular environment has a lot of features, a lot of functions, a lot of services interconnected, grouped together to function as a very useful development environment. By development environment, what I mean is that an editor or a piece of software that developers use to type, edit, save, debug, run, and test their code before deploying or packaging into a software. So, generally, what I'm trying to put across is that as a software developer, you may be using another piece of software application for typing and editing and packaging your software. This is what we refer to as IDE or Integrated Development Environment. All right, so let's get to know some of the commonly used IDEs nowadays. We have Visual Studio, an IDE from Microsoft, purposely for ASP and Microsoft product, C Sharp, Visual Basic, F Sharp, and the rest. Visual Studio Code. This is a general purpose coding environment also from Microsoft. However, this is for any programming language. It is highly extensible, meaning that you can extend it with any plugin from the Visual Studio Code market, or you can also develop your own plugin to accommodate a new programming language. Android Studio. This is the main development environment for creating Android app for the Android operating system. This is from Google. The next on the list is Eclipse, the almighty Eclipse. Is also a Java development environment for creating a whole lot of Java applications, including Android. I mean, before Android Studio became the mainstream, Eclipse was the main Android development editor. Eclipse has other versions for other programming languages. Atom, NetBeans, Notepad++, IntelliJ IDE, Sublime, PHP Storm, PyCharm, Ideal. I mean, there are a whole lot of development environments available you can choose from, mainly based on the language you are using and then the project you want to work on. But currently, if you ask me of my favorite, not the best per se, but my favorite, I will recommend Visual Studio Code for any general purpose programming. Then specifically for Android, Android Studio, and then for maybe Microsoft product like ASP, websites and co, you can choose Visual Studio. These are all available on the Windows operating system. Okay, so to conclude today's lesson, let's take a look at how we can install one of the IDEs onto our machine so that we can code from there. Now we move on to my favorite IDE, Visual Studio Code from Microsoft. We're going to install that on our computer, and henceforth that is where we're going to do most of our coding exercises. Okay, so without wasting my time, open up your browser and visit code.visualstudio.com, code.visualstudio.com, code.visualstudio.com. All right, you download the version for your operating system and install on your machine. Let's go through the process. Okay, so to install Visual Studio Code, first you need to fire up your favorite browser. I will go for Google Chrome. Okay, all right, so when it opens up, you can type it direct at the top if you know the address, code.visualstudio.com. Put a forward slash so that it's hidden. All right, it opens up the web application hosting the Visual Studio IDE. And then as you can see, we have download at the right upper corner, which will download the very version for your operating system. Or you can come to the left middle section where you have download for Windows stable build. This is because this application has detected that I'm using the Windows operating system. When you are using other platforms, it will detect and give you the suitable version. Let's open up this arrow to see what is in there. Okay, so you have the opportunity to download for other versions. That is to say, perhaps you are on a Windows operating system now. However, you want to install for maybe Linux or Mac OS. You choose this option to download. I'll go straight for um, the version I'm going to use, which is download for Windows stable build. Click on it, and then voila, is down here. Okay, so it's going to take some time to download. You wait for it, and then you click to install. Okay, so while we are waiting for it, let's get to know about Visual Studio Code a bit. According to Microsoft, Visual Studio Code is a lightweight but powerful source code editor which runs on your desktop and is available for Windows, macOS, and Linux. It comes with built-in support for JavaScript, TypeScript, Node.js, and has a rich ecosystem of extensions for other languages such as C++, C Sharp, Java, Python, PHP, Go, and runtime such as .NET and Unity. Okay, so our interest here is Python, PHP. So we are good to go. All right, that is done. So you can click on to install here. However, I want to see where it's located on my machine. So I click this arrow up and it gives me options to open, to run, to install, and then another option to show in folder. So show in folder. Okay, so it's downloaded into my download folder. You can right click, you have run as administrator or run. You use just open, yeah. Or you can just double click to open. All right, so go ahead, double click and install on your machine. I'm not going to do that because I already have it installed, as you can see the icon down here. So go ahead, install it, and then let's move on to the next session. Okay, so now that the installation is done, the next thing to do is to create a welcome folder on your computer. I mean, a directory in which we will store all our code. Okay, so you move to your desktop or the landing page of your PC. Then I'm using Windows, so I'm going for File Explorer. Okay, so inside the File Explorer, I'm going to open my desktop. Yeah, no, let me use document. So I'm moving to my document. Okay, so in here I'm going to create a new folder for this web. So new folder, and then I name it SDT 2122. I think that is okay for okay. So you double click to open it. All right, so SDT 2122, this is going to be the working folder for this academic year. This is going to be the working folder for this academic year, meaning that all applications that we will code will be in here. They will all be in their own folders within this folder. So this is the parent folder for storing all our work. Okay, so that brings us to the end of our lesson today. Let's have some discussion, questions, suggestions. Okay, go ahead. You can leave your comments, suggestions, recommendations in the comment section down there. You can reach us on our Telegram group at learn underscore software underscore dev. If you also prefer a private Telegram chat, I'm available at Jojo Angel. Voila! Thank you so much for your time, and I hope you learned something new. Next time we meet, we'll move a bit deeper. Thank you, and bye bye.